Hello, everybody. Good evening. Dr. Rao here. My daily evening room. And been talking about wellness lately because I kind of dedicated myself to the. Hi, Christopher. So, say question that everybody uh, thinks they know, but an honest assessment about what is wellness, and more importantly, are we really well? Or are we well that we can be optimally well enough? That means explore all the possible ways that the wellness can be stored. It's not like a actual something incidental happening, but actually uh, we have taken a proactive role in being well. Physically, we could have anomalies, lot of genetic heritage and also familial conditions can be there. But once we are born into um, a reasonable family that has means to give us good food and shelter and all that, uh, do we mess up with that system? Uh, do we have influence by the society or the friends and peers experiences in a way that we kind of neglect wellness and take it as granted and only attend to it when things go wrong, right? So that's why I thought maybe some people have some questions about wellness. Um, it's not that they don't are not interested, but then they would like to take care of them ahead of problems if they know how to do that. You know, that's why I thought I will at least gather a couple of days a week about questions on wellness. You know, anything related to that. You know, or any of the practices that you do. Questions on them or any of the new scientific discoveries that you were wondering about, um, and anything about ancient healing systems, which I'm very much interested in too, apart from the scientific research. Both I'm interested in. We shouldn't be interested in only one thing and just stick to it. Science is progressing in a terrific pace, and it is giving us a lot of opportunities to be well for a long time and to be joyfully also, not just to survive, and live long, but live well and live with joy. That's what my takeaway is, right? And joy means that's not you are flying off the roof all the time. That's not it. It's like a not having the psychological ailments like anxiety, depression, or reacting negatively, or generally being sad and unhappy. That is the hallmark of this generation, right? Most of the youngsters are unhappy, are not getting what they want, are anxious about it, and then they all work. One of the influencers who had many followers uh, told me that that person is always anxious, even though so much success, so many people are there with her and all that. She herself feels anxious, right? That's something not needed. That's my argument. So, do we know what is wellness? Is the wellness is prevalent in our family, in our neighbors? Do we consciously pay attention to the lifestyles so that we are well for a long time? These are all the questions, sir. Hi, Kanan. Welcome.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Kanan?
I'm good. Thank you. I've been away from listening to you for some time now,
Okay.
but always look forward to do it. But For some reason, I couldn't find time.
That's okay. I'm here because I want to be a friend and serving my friends, you know. So
Great,
that's okay.
great.
Yeah. So,
In fact, a very, very good point you raised. What exactly one means by wellness.
yeah.
Questions whether we are actually following.
Yes.
Because the lifestyles are quite different in different parts of the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not only lifestyle, even the food habits
Yeah.
are partly to do with the local availability, climatic conditions.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
But nothing has happened. But now everyone says you should not eat this, you should not eat that.
Yeah.
It's a difficult scenario when for over 50, 60 years you have practiced a certain way of working and everything seems to be okay. And suddenly, yes. They say, no, you should not take this, you should take off this.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why let's take the climatic or the cultural change or any of those external changes, right? Take an attitude like the ancient rishi or yogi do is like a this entire world is my mother, you know, and so whatever the nature gives me for the season is good for me. You see, that's like going for natural foods and also going for the offerings of the nature will really solve a lot of problems, you know. So growing fruits and vegetables in a a commercial way is something else. But if you are living close to the nature, you have planted your own fruits and vegetables, and you are taking them as offerings from your mother earth, you know, that's a very good way to understand what the wellness mean. You see what I mean?
Yes, yeah, I got it. What you're saying, that's a ideal situation. The good old
Yeah.
days when we used to live in the
Ideal
villages or
or
small towns.
simple situation, but we are lifestyles are moved away so much from that. It's kind of become problem for us, you know. But you see, when I was growing up, I saw something um, very curious. They used to buy a plot of land, and first they used to plant all these fruit trees in the backyard, you know, and then
in fact, what you're saying is perfect, Doctor.
yeah.
I still remember my uncle's house and all in the villages.
Yeah.
He used to have a proper house.
Yeah.
And the backyard used to have a small well, the
Yeah.
old drawing well.
Yeah.
Then we used to have a plot of land where day-to-day required vegetables are grown. You have some bindi, you have some what do you call okra, or what do you brinjal, so many things. Capsicum.
Yeah.
Then of course what do you call the greens.
Yeah.
So virtually we used to have on 5 days in a week,
Yeah.
absolutely homegrown items.
Organic climate. Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Absolutely organic, because they also maintained
Yeah.
a couple of milk giving
Mm.
cattle. So you had natural what you call manure.
Yeah.
So it was a pure form of organic.
Yes, it is purely
Once
organic.
you moved to the city also,
Yeah.
in the early days, it was possible to have a area where you can grow some small things like But with this commercialization, with a lot of flats and all coming up, and I'm sure you must be having the same thing in the US also.
Yeah.
The kind of grown is almost gone.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I encourage my patients to home grow as much as they can. You know, if not, they can go and go to the organic farmer and all that. That's there. But then most of the time, it's not convenient for them to. They don't have the time to grow and all that. So I started them just with one pot. Take one pot and just one vegetable, one green, one herb, something like that you start growing. And then they began to grow tomatoes. So many tomatoes, they brought me some for myself too, because they said, we are so gratefully suggested this. So you also enjoy this a few fruits. I used to give to my staff and all that. But then they got into the habit. Then the next season, they began to grow. Then I suggested, why don't you gather together with your neighbors and then have your land divided and then do this one. That was actually a social thing that they adopted. All these black families, because some of them are living in areas where they don't have any supermarkets to sell vegetables for them. All fast foods, we call them more like a vegetable deserts, like so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so they were given a plot of land, and they were encouraged to come and plant the whatever fruits or vegetables they want. And also at the end of when they got all the fruits, they were dividing among themselves, and that became very popular in many areas because they don't have means to get out sometimes. All the convenience is not there, and also they don't have any supermarkets there.
Hmm. Yeah, it makes
Yeah.
sense when you are in a position to have some plot of land,
Yeah,
or maybe combined with your
other people. Yeah,
especially in some of the outer areas of US
yeah,
or even Canada.
yeah. But
Yeah,
now,
and this is very much prevalent even in back home in India,
yeah,
where the smaller towns,
yeah.
tier 3, tier 4 cities,
Hmm.
you still have, even in fact, even in tier 1 cities, like the one flat I had a independent house in Chennai.
Hmm.
I had grown coconuts, I had grown plantains, I had grown bananas, I
Yeah.
had grown a few vegetables.
Yes.
Excellent. Of course, I gave it up for some reason, but and every day we used to like at least 25-30% of the items will be homegrown.
Yeah.
But
See, the homegrown also now.
difficult. I'm trying to say. In fact, there are two advantages. One thing is you end up having a lot of greens,
Yeah.
fresh one.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
second, of course, they are all healthy.
Yeah,
And naturally healthy.
that's you see, I'm also advising them, don't use the fertilizers and insecticides unless you absolutely need them. But try
Yeah.
to, like you suggested, homegrown compost, where you dig up a
Correct.
hole and then get all the leaves in there, and then 3 months later it becomes a good manure, and that can give us very organically. Especially now, we are so polluted with chemicals and unnecessary antibiotics with animals. They are all seeping into us. Even the plastic is now found in the gut of the kids.
No, I can understand because what happens is when they eat, they don't realize that
Yeah,
a little bit of plastic may also go in.
yeah,
So it's a big issue. And sorry to say, doctor, but
yeah,
the amount of plastic which is being used,
yeah.
consumed in the West,
Don't be
is about 10
sorry.
times more than what's being used in other parts.
I tell everybody, my wife also, don't bring any plastic home. Don't use plastic. No problem.
Even if you don't want to,
Yeah.
certain things are available only in plastic covered items.
Yeah,
So
it has become like that. Yeah. But then we see the other side, right? The problem with plastic in the stomach, plastic in the so many animals and all that.
animals.
Yeah, that's really sad to see that. See, when I,
No, but
when, when
outside things are improving. That people have started buying the bags and bringing bags. They don't
yeah,
take. But even suppose you want to buy what do you call, a few pounds of apple,
yeah,
it is given in plastic. A few
plastic,
pounds of some fruits in plastic. You
plastic.
want to buy this kale or any of this spinach,
Yeah.
it's available in plastic boxes.
We are now people are doing like we used to do in India. They're taking a cloth bag and then put all the vegetables in there and bring home. Don't use any plastic at all. That is also another practice. People
Yeah.
concerned about the
No,
earth.
you see, the thing
Yeah.
is, I've been in Hong Kong also, but Hong Kong, even many of the markets,
Mm.
they keep vegetables loose. They don't keep it in. Uh, yeah, thank you. Once again, thank you. That's one. Charge bank.
Mm.
I'll give it to you. On what? I'm taking to. Yeah. So, so that we are trying to. So maybe next time around they will probably reduce the plastic, and that gives comfort.
Yeah.
So even in Hong Kong, where it's shaped before, all the vegetables are available in loose.
Mm.
So you can, but I'm not in the packets.
I see. Okay.
So it was very good. But coming back to this, what exactly we do? I'm maybe a couple of years younger than you. Okay, so one does just do a lot of walking, couple of games.
Yeah.
But other than that, food habit remains the same, like what we should have in back home.
No, I've been talking about this wellness orientation. I talked about health system should be like that, but I also want individual wellness orientation. That means we kind of understand what is the proactive wellness. How can you be proactively well? That means you are not only just taking the like a vaccine for some virus to come. That's fine, but then how can you improve your immunity so that even if the virus is there, your system can deal with it? That kind of vitality, that kind of wellness is gone from us because we kind of cultivated these lifestyles which are very superficial. We don't drink enough water, we don't sleep well enough, we don't really empty our mind, be silent for a while. These things, all these things are very cheap, very easy to do only if you are aware and if you are oriented towards your own wellness. That's what I'm talking about. That's where I said, if you have a question about wellness, come and ask me. I'm more than happy to talk about it. That's why I thought a couple of days I will dedicate to this every day. Not every day, a couple of days a week. The rest of the times I will talk about other topics. But then my definition of wellness is you have to have a body that is strong, flexible, and high energy. But you also have to have a mind that is present, sharp, and active, right? But not occupied with thought all the time. Then you should have a heart of understanding all this, having some kindness and compassion for other people and animals, and also you are really heartful in the sense you are really think of other people a little bit, and then finally spiritually you are accepting that we are all one. That kind of thing is wellness. Once you are like that, what happens is you are more aware of what is going on in your life here and now, and then continue. You don't have to think a lot and make a plan, but you can just suppose you're picking up a plastic bag and you are aware that what the consequences and everything, and you don't want to touch it. That kind of thing. So suppose you are eating somewhere on the way, and you can actually ask them, McDonald's also, you can go and ask them some healthy food that you will enjoy. So if it is absolutely needed, you can eat some things also. Otherwise, you can also make arrangements to take some food carry with you. That kind of simple awareness habits will go a long way. You know what I mean?
That's what we normally, both of us, our family, we are not
Yeah.
very fond of eating outside, and wherever we travel, as far as possible, make something from home, and we are vegetarians.
Yes. Yeah.
So you don't really get proper vegetarian food outside. You might get something akin to that, but not to the kind of taste. So we generally prepare and go, and it's we know what's the portions we want and what is the.
No, it used to be like that when I was first came to United States in the 80s, 81. I came here. At the time, they would not understand what is a vegetarian sandwich, so they could not understand. But nowadays, you can go and tell them the way you want it, and then there's a daily, their house. Afternoon is very busy. You can go there, and those girls are standing in the line. You can say, I want this vegetarian sandwich with cheese and with all these vegetables and whatever, and they will customize for you. The soup also.
Yeah, that I have noticed.
Yeah.
You can have your own soup and maybe the ingredients.
Yeah. So much
Especially
yes.
even this called Subway or something. You
Yeah.
can add not mayonnaise, add not
Yeah.
cream, or you can have just a salad and maybe a little bit of sauce.
Actually, every year there's near Chicago. We go there. It's like 1.5 hours from here, and they celebrate the vegetarian festival. There are thousands of Americans come. They are all vegetarians celebrating the vegetarian festival. And they have a lot of events there where they promote vegetarianism. Why? They're very conscious about earth and all that.
But Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago. Naperville, one of the suburbs. It is near to us. So we go there, and we are very pleased to see a lot of all sorts of people come there. So it's a very now lot of my students also on the wellness club. They are also kind of semi-vegetarian or vegetarian or something conscious about why we are being. We never force anybody. My style is educate and improve the awareness and then let them use their own intelligence to do these things. So that is working okay, but still a lot of people need to be aware of what's going on in their wellness sphere. Are they exercising enough? Are they taking rest properly? Main important thing now is, are they taking care of their mind? Otherwise,
that of course is a
yeah,
something which yeah, as you rightly mentioned,
yeah,
you may take care of your body physically.
yeah,
The mind is something gets occupied with so many
yeah. They are.
doubts and
Yeah.
future and
They want to sell something. That's why they want to take over our minds. So you got to be careful.
very true, very true.
Yes, I kind of give some drug holiday like a thought holiday. So it is easy for me because I stay in the awareness and quietness all the time, and use conscious thought whenever I want to do something. At the time, I'm completely immersed in that, and that's with things get done. But then, after you're done, then shut it off. That is what you need to practice.
That is something which has to be practiced.
Yeah, you have to practice.
Not
That.
to get too involved in certain subjects and then
Yeah.
unless we get
Yeah.
starting arguments.
Yeah. You see, the way the ancients did was they kind of stayed in the silence most of the time, and then when they had to do something, they used their mind very effectively. So that is what I'm talking about. I got hold of that. That's why I can be a doctor, I can be a informatician, I can be so many other things. But then I know how to calm it down and shut it off. So that means you got to bring your awareness to the front and put the thought back. Otherwise, thought will dominate you. You see?
Correct.
So,
Invariably, that's what happens,
yeah,
thoughts are dominating you,
dominates.
and you start accepting that those thoughts are right.
Yeah, not the right. They think there's no way I can stop this. It's
No,
like,
no other way.
yeah, it's a wind. Yeah, it needs a lot of, yeah, lot of training. Yeah. Basically, when you get up in the morning, don't get thinking about it anything right away. Give it a space. Then the longer you can give that space, the more you will be silent through the day. Even with the work, even with other things, you won't be subject to immediate reactions and all that. It's not a big yeah, meditations and all that, they are there, that's good too. But then ordinary people also, all you have to do is get up and don't engage in thinking and planning and reviewing all the data.
But if you go to management people, they start saying you should plan for 1 year, plan for 2 years,
Yeah.
go 3 days. So it goes contrary.
No, you can plan. No, you can
planning.
plan, Kanan, but then don't live in the future in the plan. Whenever the plan structure will be there, not so many steps, involved in the step completely. Don't go for the goal and all that. Then that will you get lost in the future. You are neglecting what's going.
What happens is you start thinking about the future and then start thinking,
Yeah.
what if it does not happen?
Think when you are brainstorming, that's good. Okay, planning, that's good. But then once you have envisaged a plan, then don't go for the goals. Even for some work we had to be done up till 5 o'clock, don't go for that. Focus on the process. Focus on what you are doing. Then automatically your goals will be reached. Sometimes much before. I talk about multitasking, don't do it. I talk about a focus completely on what you do, attention to every action. That's what I tell all the time. I do that. That's why I save a lot of energy. That's the trick. People don't understand. If they do one thing at a time, they save a lot of energy. Once
I
they,
think you got a good point.
yeah,
That is, you just focus on your process rather than
yes,
outcome.
process,
If
yes.
your process is generally correct, or if your then automatically whatever you desire will happen. But you don't have to
Exactly.
focus on achieving it by means of hook or crook, but just follow the process.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
whatever that is it.
too many distractions are there because all the social media, all this marketing, everything, they throw so many stimuli at us. So there's so many stimulations that happen to us. That is there too. So that's why I tell them, when you are purposeful, when you know what you want to do, completely be with it, whatever time you do. It could be 1 minute or 10 minutes or 10 hours. If you are if you learn that, then this you see, people think I can leave my mind on its own and let it run and it'll go with it. That is the problem, right? Like for example, I have a lot of these elderly patients who come. They complain about uh, I can remember what happened 20, 30 years ago very well, but I cannot remember what is happened yesterday. So there's a mechanism for that. You know, the yoga science explains that. Okay, if you are consciously thinking and dropping all that, then your mind will be fresh every day, right? But if you have a habit of retaining them for unnecessarily not kind of important stuff, but all the other things like a gossip and all that, that kind of unconscious thought thinking can affect you in the sense that they call them samskaras. That means ingrained thoughts. The thoughts go and form their own neurological path. So when you're old, they come and haunt you. That's the problem.
Very true, very true. We do often remember so many things. So,
Yeah,
yeah, but I think it's consciously thinking of the present and
yeah.
consciously thinking of what is done.
You
That's
don't
the
have to
process.
think at the present. You are in the present. Be in the present. If you think, you are either in the past or in the future, right? So whatever you do, do attention completely in the present. Then you will be, just check yourself. Am I here now? Am I focusing on what I'm doing? Like I'm talking to you, I'm focusing on what I'm doing. So there's no struggle, right? So it's not like a agenda, it's not like a something I have to sell you, nothing. Just
No, no,
talking.
I think it's the way you speak. Even in the past, I used to always hear you. It looks more conversational. No?
Yeah,
It's just a casual talk,
yeah,
and you're not forcing it on us. You're saying just suggestions, my experience.
yeah,
That's a wonderful thing, and I learn a lot every time I hear you
yeah,
and interview, doctor, and especially on calming your mind. But
yeah.
maybe
Now
it will
that
take
is I'm
ages with
focusing
videos
on.
like yours.
I'm focusing on the calming the mind because I see the victims of this persistent too much data, too much thinking about it. You know, nowadays what it is, we can carry our laptops, our iPads, and we can carry the data anywhere. Even if they go to some vacation, they go and work there too because they think, oh, we're wasting time. We won't be. That's exactly what I'm telling. Vacate your mind. Even if you want to go to vacation, go there, enjoy the spot, enjoy the sights and sayings and all that, but then vacate your mind. That's a simple word.
Or if at all it is essential, just have a spare 1 hour or something, and then
Yeah, yeah,
enjoy the remaining time.
yeah. I see what when you rewind, relax and restore your mind again, you can go and do that again too. So but then people
Yeah,
are not
very
able
good.
to, yeah,
When
not,
you're on a holiday,
yeah.
really enjoy the holiday, then rather than continue to
Exactly, exactly. Whatever you do, if you are working, work and enjoy that. If you are enjoying outside, then do that. See, lots of times they divide that as though work is separate and enjoyment is separate. But actually, work is also like worship. You know, work is like enjoyment. If you really see those people who enjoy the work, they go into the flow state, so they don't spend much time, much energy in that. Easily everything goes on, and then they know the skill, they have been doing it, so they allow it to come through. And then if they think too much, they will spoil it sometimes, so they just have to go through. That is where you could be. This is a deeper yoga thing, is samadhi they call it. But you don't have to go all the way. You just to kind of understand, I don't have to be thinking all the time. I will think when I want to in a deep way, And then once I get an insight out of thinking, I will take the insight, rest of them I will drop it. This needs training, but I'm just simplifying it, but it needs a lot of training. So I do that in my wellness club with the people who come and who ask me these questions. I do that. But then they have to practice that. See?
Yeah, I think what you said, keep practicing.
Yeah.
I mean, that is something which we need to consciously ensure. I have fixed time, maybe not even if you don't have fixed time, but consciously do some pranayam or thinking about the what your current.
Yeah, deep breathing is good. Deep breathing. Yeah.
Deep exhalation.
Deep breathing, very good. It kind of calms you down a little bit, you know. So
very true, very true. That's what I try to do whenever I'm agitated. But you're already so agitated that by the time you actually do it, it'll take a long time.
No, the atmosphere also.
And actually, you can calm it
down. Atmosphere also, it has become such a way they throw so much stuff at us, necessary, unnecessary. So we got to assume responsibility of really identifying what is really necessary, important for me, what is not. You know, if you are a little bit agile, little bit aware, you can do that. Why do you have to talk every sorts of nonsense with everybody? That is where people get lost, you know. So with yoga, what happens is you have a purpose, you are doing stuff in a reverent way, and you are doing stuff because you really think it is important. So like my doctor's job, for example, it is very important because we got to help people, right, and to save lives and all that. So automatically that kind of duty, reverence, and importance comes to the work, you know. But we can make any work like that. Any work is no work is below the dignity. So anything, if you, especially if you are helping somebody, that's where it is really very important to do that.
Yeah, I think a combination of pranayam and also part of what you're saying is also in the Gita. Do your duty or do it in a particular process. Yeah, and things will take care of it.
That is it. What it is, karmanya vadikaraste mafaleshu kadachana. You know what that actually mean is?
Don't look for the goal.
No, not really goal. But first of all, is unselfish attitude. You know, when you do stuff by renouncing the fruits and the unselfish activity, then you will not have the karma of building up like I'm doing this, I want to this. That will deepen your karma cycle, right? So that's why whatever you do, because you have to be active, you have to do things like I'm coming and doing it. I should do this talk unselfishly, you know. But if I am selfish, if I feel like, oh, I am the only one who can talk like this, then you're lost, you're gone. So it's basically erasing the agent and not expecting the results. These two things, I am doing it, and also I would want this. That's why they said mine and me. Erase that, then it becomes karma yoga. Remember those two words, me and mine. Everybody struggling for that. For me, what is important for me, what is pleases me, what gives me pleasure, and all that.
What is in it for me?
Yeah, and then also for whom I'm doing. This guy is not mine. This guy is somebody else, so I can rob him. You know. So whatever you do, if you think this, everybody is yours. If you think mine and you separately, then you are going away from that. It's a beautiful philosophy. Understand ancient how they express it. Of course, Bhagavad Gita is not something you read and learn one time. You continuously read, continuously understand that. You know that any of the spiritual texts are like that. They are like oceans of knowledge and insight. The one thing about Gita is a practical daily life. You can use it.
Very true. It actually gives you different examples and different scenarios, and how do we go about. And ultimately, the whole thing is Just concentrate on
Hey,
me.
Kanan, I remember something.
Do your work.
Yeah, I remember something about the food Krishna in Bhagavad Gita recommends. They are like a vital, juicy, nurturing fruits. That is what he recommends for people to eat. See, it is there thousands of years ago, but then people lost that, and then they're eating all sorts of things now. Yeah.
No, you're right. When it comes to eating,
Yeah.
some of the juicy and so are more tasty also and healthy also.
Yeah, there are some poems oriented to particular topics in Gita. So I have a slide where it says, "What do you do if you are eating bad diet? What do you do if you are having anger problems? What do you do if you have too much of desire problem? Or what do you do if you are having jealousy problems?" Like that, the slide gives you particular quality and gives you that slokas where you can go and read the chapter and the verse number, you know. And if you can even keep it a companion guide, which Gandhi used to do. He used to carry Gita with him as a reference for him. So he wrote a book. I don't know you read it or not. It's called Bhagavad Gita for Common Man. You know how that came about? How they come about? Because he was already in South Africa, and then he came to India and all that. Right? He was already a grown man when he met a European in Europe somewhere, and that man is very avid reader of Bhagavad Gita, and he is a scholar, I believe, in that. You know, so he wrote books on that. You know, so they were talking about something, and then he asked Gandhi, "You must have read the Gita, right?" Then Gandhi said, "No, I did not read it so far." Then he scolded him. I mean, he scolded him and said, "You should go and read the Gita. Go and read it now." Later on, Gandhi took it up, and then he struggled to understand it. He understood it, and then ever since it became a reference for him through the life. Then he felt, how come this kind of wisdom is not available to the Indian common man? And that's why he wrote the Bhagavad Gita for the common man. It's a beautiful book, you know. This karma. He said, of course, he quotes other Upanishads and all that, but then basically about the work, he says, basically renounce and rejoice. Renounce and enjoy. These are the two things that he said about work. That's why he never wanted any position Indian government to be formed. He could have easily been there if he wanted to, but he has no interest in that, right? So he renounced the materialistic life, and then he enjoyed working actively. So you can renounce these results and all that, but at the same time actively work in the spirit of contributing to the life of the earth. Pretty deep. Yeah, Bhagavad Gita is pretty deep meaning, and also it can be taken up. You don't have to be a Hindu or anything, but it can be taken up. Recently, I was writing some articles on how the some of the founding fathers of this nation, USA, they were very much, unto some of the scientists also, very much were reading this um, Bhagavad Gita and other books, and they were very influenced by that ancient wisdom. You know. So.
No, I think it's a combination of everything.
But nowadays it doesn't matter. Even in modern Indians are much worse than the other people. They don't have a foggy study about what these ancient texts are they saying. You know, when I talk about ancient wisdom, they think I'm being backward or something. They don't know how much I'm into the modern science also. But also the way this wisdom came about in the ancient times is very scientific. They don't understand that. That's through the meditative awareness. They kind of conceived all these things, you know. So,
that was some small, I would say, maybe a controversial way, some small element of what we call selfishness in the past.
Yeah.
I think were not passed on to all generations except to a very close group.
Yeah, that's a Brahmin. So they did that for a while. But then nowadays, so many English translations, so much of lectures by people are there, right? It is very
Correct.
true. Thousands of years they kept to only one particular family. So other people
True.
did not know. Yeah.
Correct. So with the result, what happened is that
Yeah.
continues now.
Yeah.
Now, for the last 50, 60 years, slowly things have started improving.
Yeah.
And as you said, I'm on site where it has got
Yes.
15 different countries in the script.
Yes.
How the Bhagavad Gita can be chanted.
Oh yeah, not 15.
Except that
Not
it doesn't
15.
have all the languages in India.
Not 15. More than 100 or
Okay.
160, something like that.
That site has got
Yeah.
15.
Yeah.
All of them Arabic, English, Latin,
Oh yeah.
what do you call all those Russian, etc. But doesn't have Tamil, Telugu,
No, wisdom is
Kannada.
wisdom. Is it is in Quran, it is in Bible, it is in Bhagavad Gita. So I don't specially identify anything because it's there. We just have to really stop our chattering mind and listen to it and get the insights and apply them in our life. Then that becomes valuable. Because I know about this Gita thing, I talked about it, but doesn't mean you have to be Hindu to know about that wisdom. So. Anyway, that's good. You reminded us of the Bhagavad Gita. That's good. No?
No, because I feel,
Yeah.
well, pranayam is one way, but Bhagavad Gita way we talk is actually
No,
yoga.
no. Bhagavad Gita talks yoga in a much, much detailed thing. So just
Exactly. So
yeah.
it's basically only yoga,
Yeah.
but talked in but explained in a different way.
Yeah.
And it's a deep consciousness, deep thinking, only concentrating on yoga.
Yeah, it is a comprehensive
Not thinking
comprehensive.
about other things.
Yeah, comprehensive summary of the Upanishads. Upanishad, big deal, right? So I don't want to go into that direction. What I'm saying is, modern man to be well, just be commonsensically aware of what is going on in your life and know what is available, what is really proven. So many ways we can keep your body and mind in a well way for a long time, and also you can enjoy the life. You can be joyous. That's what I always tell people about.
Very true, very true.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm glad you came up and we talked about all this. Other people listen to it if they want to replay. Usually, some people do that, and they send questions. But I'll do this room wellness questions. If anybody has questions on how to be well, what is the latest, what is the ancient that we can adopt, I think that would be good service. I think to a lot of people.
You're doing a great of course, it's more than 3-4 months since
Yeah.
I started listening to you.
Yeah.
Wherever possible, I am always only as a listener.
Yeah.
But today I really felt that the topics you've chosen.
I don't do the invitations and all that.
Most
Just
important about
Yeah.
take care of health,
Yes.
your body, your mind, and that can be done in peace of mind.
Yeah. It's a natural for me because I'm a physician, I'm a yogi. So that combination working very well for me, right? So I kind of I'm well and happy and enjoying myself life. So other people ask me questions, okay. Otherwise, I'm dedicating 1 hour in the evening every day here, and people can come and talk to me and ask me questions, things like that. Even one or two people come, that's fine too. Most of the time, two or three people come, and that's fine too.
So your timings might be around 5 o'clock, huh? 5:30, 5:50?
No, 6 o'clock for us. 6 o'clock evening, Central
Okay.
Time. I mean the Central
Central
Time.
Time.
Central Time. Yeah.
Because for me, actually, I'm in Toronto, so it's very convenient.
Yeah.
But back home in India, your timing will be
Morning.
like
Yeah.
4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Way too early for me.
Yeah. All right, Karan. We will talk again.
Thank you, doctor. It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
And I'll continue to listen to you as much as possible wherever it is.
Okay.
And have a great day.
Okay. You too.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, on the wisdom also.